Welcome. Welcome to our bite sized conversation. This weekend, we will talk about that one thing that separates unstoppably successful people and average achievers. That one thing is what I call as self talk. Okay, so today in today's conversation, we will look at what is self talk, why is it so important, how does it make an impact, and how do you control the self talk to help you. So let's jump. So, what is self talk? Self talk is this chattering voice which is going on inside you, something which is happening even right now. Most of you may not be aware. Just listen to what it's telling you. There's something it keeps telling you all the time. It's been with you all your life from the time you gained consciousness, grew up. It's been talking to you, but many of us don't even realize that it's continuously influencing what we do. Why is it important? It's important because what is the voice which you hear and what it advises you dictates what actions you do. Many of us will identify with what I'm saying. There are times, initially when I started off, I remember stage, and going to the stage is something which was very frightening. Okay, there is this voice inside you which keeps telling you, you can't do it. Okay, you'll make a fool of yourself. That's the self-talk. That's the voice which is telling you that inside you. It continuously chatters. It tells you, you can't do this, you can't do that. There are some larger responsibilities offered to you, but something tells you, no, don't do that. You will fail. Hold on, wait some time more. Continuously tells you. Just imagine if it was to tell you something else. If it was to tell you things like, of course you can do it. Okay, if it was, I'm reminded of an interview where Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer of all times, and Mike Tyson, one of the most ruthless boxers of all times, they were sitting and somebody was interviewing, and they said, hypothetically, if you both were to fight each other in a ring, what would happen? So Mike Tyson immediately said, no, he is like in a different class. Muhammad Ali was humble, but this is what he said. He said, this guy is very strong. One punch and I'm out. But I'm so fast, he will never be able to touch me. This is his self-talk. His self-talk has told him that he is the greatest, he is the fastest, he dances like a bird, he stings like a bee. You would remember all his statements. These are his self-talk. Can you imagine when he gets into the ring, what kind of confidence he gets in with? That's the impact of his self-talk. A negative self-talk holds you back, limits you, stops you from doing what you have to do. A positive self-talk gets you to go beyond, break glass ceilings, test the limitation. You might fail a little, but you will succeed most of the times. That's self-talk, and that's the impact of self-talk. How can we influence it? Can we change it? Can we make it, convert it to our advantage? The self-talk is built over the years, okay, and it has come from years of conditioning, from parents, from friends, from well-wishers as we grew up, all with good intent. They told you what you can't do. They told you why you shouldn't go out. They told you what you should not be doing, staying out late, all those stuff. Okay, and this has created this fear, and they said it for your good. So they wanted you to be cautious, careful, but we have overdone it inside, and we are now so negatively conditioned to tell us that there is a lot of things we can't do. We tell ourselves, oh, I come from a very poor background, my financial situation, so I can't. There's a limit to what I can achieve. A lot of things I can't do. But is that really true? We have examples of people like Abdul Kalam, the greatest Indian space scientist we had. We owe a lot to him. We owe the nuclear bomb to him. He finally became the president of India, and you know how humble background he came from, and what would have been his self-talk. He keeps saying, no, I can't do all these stuff. I'm from that background, such a poor upbringing. No, he said that he was good. He would put more hard work and he would be there. And he did that. He's an icon for all of us. So it has come over a period of time, and we have to figure out how to change it. There are some tips I can talk about. The first, I think most important, is to be aware. Are you aware of what your inner voice is telling you? From today, start listening to it. See what it's telling you. Okay, just be aware. Second, you have to train yourself, and this will take effort. And understand this. You have to tell the voice not to be so critical of you. It has to be your friend. It has to be somebody who loves you. And would you be so critical and negative to somebody whom you care and love? Would you say encouraging stuff, or would you say discouraging stuff? You will have to get the inner voice to tell you encouraging stuff. You will, and it will have to start only by making sure that it understands that you both are friends, the closest friend. Okay, and if you can't love each other, then you can't love anybody else. Okay, so this is the conditioning, and you need to keep doing this as a practice. The other thing which I have practiced, one of the things I practiced is whenever you think of something which you know your logical mind says, oh, you're not ready, please start adding another word to the self-talk. Use the word yet. Okay, so whenever it says, the inner voice says, oh, you're not ready, add yet. You're not ready yet. Okay, but you're not trained for it. You're not trained for it yet. What it does is it adds a spark of positivity at the end of this inner chatter. It says that it's possible, you can do it, but you need some some activity to happen, some action to happen for you to get there. Add the word yet. The third thing is in my mind, to continuously practice positivity. How do you practice positivity? Positivity, the easiest way you can do, which is in your control, is the words you use. How positive are your words? Okay, and what I have done is I have enlisted some people around me, okay, at home, outside, and their job is I just want one thing from them, just to point out every time I say something negative, and they don't need to judge me, they just have to point out and shut up. Okay, and I found that every time, and it's very natural, when you're sitting at home and talking, and you speak about some family member and say, oh, but that guy, you say something negative, and you want somebody to point out and say, look, you just said something negative. It helps you stop saying these things. The moment you stop saying these things, you will find that unconsciously your thoughts also stop thinking those things. Okay, so there is a connection between the spoken word and the thought, and you control what is more controllable is the spoken word. So you control your spoken word and your thought gets controlled. It takes years, but you can visibly get better in the negative thoughts that you think. Start from today, practice it, enlist support, get a volunteer, somebody to help you who's mostly with you, to point out to you that, look, that was a negative stuff you said just now. Finally, try and change your story. Okay, each of us has unconsciously built a story about our life. Okay, we may not realize, just sit and think, what's the story about your life that you've told yourself? think of it like a movie. What's the character you're playing in that movie? Are you this always crying aunt or sister? Are you this guy who always loses the girl to somebody else? A loser? Is that the story you told? You have to change the narrative of your story. And I realized that very early that I had to build a story where I was the hero of my movie. And you had to pick a hero also, make it more specific. Who's this guy? Which kind of movie? I chose James Bond movies and I was the Bond. So if you see these movies, James Bond movies, you will find that there is continuously something happening, something bad happening to the hero. So these guys, the enemies, they come, they catch him, they tie some heavy stuff and throw him underwater. They do crazy stuff, all those stuff happen. And each time, heroically, he overcomes and comes out of that situation. So James Bond, after every bad thing that happens to him, the hero that he is, he comes out. And in the end, he kills the enemies, gets the girl, whatever, and that's a happy ending. That's the story. And if that's the story which I want my life to be, and that's my self-talk will be all about that. Yeah, that's a problem which has happened now. That's an issue. But I'm Bond. Okay, I'm going to figure out a solution and I'll solve this. Right? Build a story of your life. Make yourself the hero or the heroine of this movie, the key character, the one who wins. Okay, overcomes all odds. So your self-talk changes. You're the one who says, oh, okay, there is something happening and I will face it. Think about all this, change your self-talk and change your life. See you next time.